Listen closely, I'll only say this once.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric, baby, when I turn it on. All through my city, all through my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we're in our zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, I got that good soul in my feet. Feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Woo! I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. Room and lock the way we rock it, so don't stop. Under the lights when anything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move where you already know. So just imagine, nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel a good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing.
I can't stop the feeling.
So just dance, dance,
I
dance.
can't stop the feeling.
So just dance, dance, dance. Something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. Don't need no reason, don't need control. I fly so high, no ceiling when we're in our zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, I got that good soul in my feet. Feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh. I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. Room and lock the way we rock it, so don't stop. Under the lights when anything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move where you already know. So just imagine, nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel a good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing.
I can't stop the feeling.
So just dance, dance,
I can't
dance.
stop the feeling.
So just dance, dance,
I can't
dance.
stop the feeling.
So just dance, dance,
I can't
dance.
stop the feeling.
So keep dancing. I can't stop the. I can't stop the. I can't stop the. I can't stop the.
I can't stop the feeling.
Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel a good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance,
I
dance.
can't stop the feeling.
All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance,
I
dance.
can't stop the feeling.
Ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing.
I can't stop the feeling.
Got this feeling in my body.
I can't stop the feeling.
Got this feeling in my body.
I can't stop the feeling.
Wanna see you move your body.
I can't stop the feeling.
Got this feeling in my body. Got this feeling in my
I
body.
can't stop the feeling.
Got this feeling in my
I
body.
can't stop the feeling.
Got this feeling in my body. Got this feeling in my body.
letting you down easy, just give it time. If it don't hurt now, just wait a while. You're not the big fish in the pond no more. You are what they're feeding on. So what are you gonna do when the world don't orbit around you? So what are you gonna do when the world don't orbit around you? Ain't it fun
living in the real world?
Ain't it good
Being all alone.
Where you from? You might be the one who's running things. Well, you can ring anybody's bell and get what you want. You see, it's easy to ignore trouble when you're living in that bubble. So
What are you gonna do
when the world don't orbit around you? So
What are you gonna do
when nobody wants to fool with you? Oh, ain't it fun
living in the real world?
Ain't it good
Being all alone.
Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun to get count on no one? Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun to get count on no one? Ain't it fun?
Living in the real world.
Oh,
Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world. Don't go crying to your mama, 'cause you're on your own in the real world.
fun, ain't it fun? Baby, now we're one of us. Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun? Ain't it fun?
Living in the real world.
Ain't it good?
Being all alone.
Oh,
Good afternoon. I'm Corrine Blake, Associate Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, and welcome here today, Liberal Studies and Law and Justice majors, and congratulations. Because of the rain ceremony, we will be watching the ceremony on a live feed, and then after we will proceed to the presentation of our College of Humanities and Social Sciences graduates. Thank you.
Welcome to Rowan University's 2019 commencement ceremonies. The processional is ready to begin. Please silence all cell phones and please remain seated during the processional so everyone can see. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. And now, Dr. Nawal Amar, Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2019 College of Humanities and Social Sciences ceremony. A special hello, I don't know where you are, but a special hello to the College of Humanities and Social Sciences graduates, families, faculty, staff who are part of the ceremony through the live stream in the Student Recreation Center. Where is the camera? Okay. It now is my pleasure to introduce our special guests. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Let's see how you're going to follow this instruction. We have on the podium our president, Dr. Ali Hushman, and our provost, Dr. James Newell. We also have on the podium Rowan University Board trustees, Ms. Isabelita Abel, Dr. Barbara Chamberlain, Mr. Riley Shea, student trustee. We have distinguished guests, Dr. Q. Edward Wong, Grand Marshal, Ms. Amanda Kuhn, Alumni Board, Ms. Denise Williams, CWA President, Dr. William Friend, University Senate President, Mr. Arbery Singleton, SGA President, Ms. Naidrima Makdafi, Student Speaker. Members of the President's Cabinet, deans, college advisory board members, faculty, and other senior members of the administration. Thank you for following this instruction. Oh, I have to do a little bit more. Last but not least, there are two very important constituencies that must also be recognized. Graduates, both here and in the Student Recreation Center, please rise and first, so please rise, graduates. So I'm going to ask you to do two things. First, face the people most important in your life, parents, partners, siblings, and other loved ones. Now that you've applauded that group, let's go to the second thing you will be doing, which is please recognize your Rowan family, faculty, staff, and administrators who share in your pride and success today. Thank you, and be seated.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so sorry that we could not hold this beautiful ceremony in the green in front of Barnes Hall because of the weather, and we worried about a lot of ladies' high heels. We figured if they walk on the grass, we're going to be sued and pay tons of money to them. So, nevertheless, it still is going to be a glorious day and one that we will not soon forget. We have all come to celebrate because we know the significance of the degrees our new graduates have earned. And we know the great effort it took to earn them. Graduates and the loved ones, you have anticipated this day for years, maybe some of you since your childhood. Maybe with difficulties and distractions, but here we are today. As president and as a father, it brings me great joy to see families and friends mark this moment with our new graduates. We celebrate today, of course, but I encourage you to consider this a starting point for new goals in your lives. In the word of our great friend, Henry M. Rowan, make this world a better place because you live in it. Congratulations from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. And on behalf of the faculty, many of whom are sitting on the podium or are sitting next to you, staff, many of whom are around supporting all of us to make this a successful event despite the rainy, cold day, and administration represented by Rowan University President Dr. Ali Hushman and Provost James Newell, I would like to congratulate the 2019 College of Humanities and Social Sciences graduates. Today, you are part of the 1/3 club. 1 in 3 Americans have a university degree. You have achieved this status through your individual hard work, perseverance, and many sacrifices. I know that you have mixed feelings despite the significant accomplishments. Happiness and pride because of your achievement and completing your degree. Some nostalgia because you will be leaving a group of people you have known for some time, and apprehension because you cannot predict how the future will work for you. Enjoy those feelings, learn from them, and move ahead with confidence and humility. This may be the last lesson we teach you at Rowan University. These are feelings you will have at every rite of passage or change life stage. We all have felt them and continue to feel them. Academy Award winner Octavia Spencer said to a group of graduates in Northeast Ohio once, "You are full of complexities and wonders that haven't even begun to surface. Life's unpredictability will draw these out, and what defines you now will be mere shades and hues of a more vibrant you over the next 5, 10, and 50 years. Honestly, Octavia Spencer continues to say, I can't think of anything more liberating than that, knowing that life will look differently than you think it will be. While you are on this liberating journey, remember that we are living in an era of change and innovation. This change is ushering with it an exciting new category of jobs that we have no name for yet. The surprising, borrowing from George Andreas' 2017 book titled You Can Do Anything, The Surprising Power of a Useless Liberal Arts Education. This is being cynical. Where he says, we know that America's most interesting jobs are going to be ones that haven't been done before. They are going to be jobs that call for an explorer's spirit. 2019 graduates of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences at Rowan University, we have taught you how to be explorers to succeed at the unknown and function well during chaotic and murky moments. During your years at Rowan University, we have taught you the habit of attention, the art of expression, the ability to assume a position opposite to yours, openness to new experiences, and to color outside the line. Your department's programs, the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, and Rowan University have taught you to be successful explorers, both in the classroom and outside the classroom. In the classroom, you had professors who are experts in their fields and who conduct innovative, exciting, and rigorous research. The departments, the college, and the university also prepared you to explore and succeed by offering you experiences outside the classroom. Think of an explorer in the wilderness. It is not enough to have navigating tools and proper gear, which you do in the classroom. They also need sufficient food and water to survive. The opportunities we made available to you outside the classroom are this additional water and food. Those experiences increase your chances of success and distinguish you as explorers in the real world. Those opportunities include many, but I'll mention few. A number of you have had opportunities to study in internships and options such as undergraduate research and placements in nonprofit, community, and government agencies. You also had the opportunity to attend numerous career fairs. Students also had the opportunity to meet and hear Rowan alums about their experiences, both at the Chess Alumni Meet and Greet and during Chess Career Day. Some of you, again this year, attended the Model African Union Conference at Howard University in DC, representing Eritrea in Eastern Africa. Another group of students attended one of the Model United Nations conferences in New York City at the United Nations headquarters. This is the first time Rowan University students join more than 5,000 plus university students from all over the world to discuss current global issues in a real-world context. Rowan University students represented the country of North Korea. Yes, North Korea, not South Korea, the difficult Korea. And even though it was the first time they participated, they received an honorable mention for their performance in the various simulated United Nations committees. The College of Humanities and Social Sciences also supported student travel to academic conferences. This year, we were able to support trips to Atlanta, Arizona, Colorado, Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania. We also have students traveling to programs in Italy, Ireland, Germany on a study abroad program. Students, with the help of our Associate Dean, Dr. Corey Blake, secured multiple international scholarships, including Fulbright Awards to Taiwan and Uganda, and Boren Awards to China and Jordan. We have organized and supported more than 300 plus workshops, presentations, public talks, conferences, and research presentations. Our students also had multiple opportunities to be leaders inside and outside the college. I wish we had enough time to mention each and every one of your accomplishments, but I don't think my president is going to be happy if I do that. So I'm going to move on. For example, we have sitting on the podium Arbery Singleton. Arbery. The Student Government Association president, graduating with a BA in political science. Also, Riley Shea, where is Riley? Sitting on the platform, who today will receive a BA in history and Africana studies with a minor in political science and an honors concentration He's one of the student trustees on the university's board of trustees for this academic year, 18-19. We also have Daquan Washington, who's graduating with a sociology major. Daquan, are you here? Yes. Daquan took most of his classes from Rowan's Camden location. He was selected for Rowan's 2018 Excellence in Diversity Award for Social Activism, and he was awarded a 10-month Boren Scholarship through the African Flagship Language Initiative to Tanzania in 2018. Our student speaker, Ms. Nidrima McDuffie, where is Hi. is graduating with a double major in Africana Studies and International Studies and a minor in Spanish, and you will hear from her soon. Chess graduates, I wish I could say more about you and your accomplishments, but we have 630 plus students graduating today. Each and every one of you is an explorer. Chess graduates, we have prepared you well, and you are on your way to develop the explorer's spirit even further. Please come back to visit us and tell us about your explorations. Don't forget about us. Finally, remember the advice of Rumi, the Persian poet, who said, "Live life as if everything is rigged in your favor." Congratulations. The instruction on my booklet says I have to go back and sit in my place, but I'm coloring outside the line for a second. Before I go back to my seat, I would like to acknowledge our provost, Jim Newell. The provost is the chief academic officer of the university. Reporting directly to the president, the provost's principal responsibilities include academic and financial oversight of all undergraduate and graduate programs, and the hiring of faculty, librarians, professional staff, and other personnel. Jim has been provost since 2011, and before that, he was associate provost for 4 years. In other words, he was responsible for many academic areas, while most of, if not all of you, graduates were at Rowan University. Jim is moving on to a different academic position at Rowan University, and we at the College of Humanities and Social Sciences would like to acknowledge his leadership and wish him well in his next adventure. I am now going to follow my instructions and go to my place.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Fleming, and I'm the Assistant Dean for the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, otherwise known as the person who sends you all of the emails. So this day is all about you, and we're excited to be able to recognize different groups of folks who certainly are much deserving of that recognition. First, this week we are graduating 57 students who have served our country as members of the United States military. They have overcome the challenges and hardships of transitioning between studies and service. We appreciate their dedication to both education and military duty. Will those students in both the ESB Gym and the Rec Center please stand and be recognized? It also gives me great pleasure to recognize the students who have achieved and excelled in their academic studies while here at Rowan. These students are graduating today with honors and fall into 3 levels of achievement. First, students graduating with cum laude have achieved a grade point average of 3.45 to 3.64, Will those students who are graduating cum laude please stand and be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. Next, students graduating with magna cum laude have achieved grade point averages of 3.65 to 3.84. Will those students who are graduating magna cum laude please stand and be recognized? And next, students graduating with summa cum laude have achieved the highest honor, having achieved a grade point average of 3.85 to 4.0. Will those students who have achieved this distinction please stand and be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to recognize our Honors Concentration graduates and our Honor Society members. They are listed in the program and have been recognized at previous ceremonies. Graduates in the Rec Center and the SB Gym who are members of the Honors Concentration or Honor Society members, could you please stand and be recognized? I'd also like to recognize the medallion winners in our college from students who received medallions from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. Again, those names are listed in the program. If you have received a medallion, please stand and be recognized. In addition to the medallions, each department recognizes a senior of distinction for their academic achievements as well as their achievements outside of the classroom. The College of Humanities and Social Sciences recently honored a number of outstanding graduates at the Dean's Senior of Distinction Recognition Ceremony. I ask that them both here and in the Student Recreation Center please rise. These graduating seniors were selected by the faculty of their respective programs as exemplifying the finest qualities of their disciplines. Please rise. And finally, I'd just like to recommend two groups of faculty. First, our retirees. I'm honored to recognize 4 faculty members this year who are retiring. I'll simply read their name, department, and their years of service. And those who are present, if you could just stand when your name is called and be recognized. First, Dr. Joseph Davey retires after 22 years of service to the Law and Justice Department. Next, Dr. Timothy Viator retires after 26 years of service to the English Department. And I believe Timothy is here. Dr. Mary Gallant retires after 28 years of service to the Sociology and Anthropology Department. And finally, Dr. David Casterman retires after 47 years of service to the Sociology and Anthropology Department. And finally, I'd like to recognize our Excellence in Teaching Award winners. Some of you who received my emails may have remembered a call for nominations for professors who really exemplified excellent teaching, not only in the way of instruction, but also in the way of mentorship outside the classroom. These faculty members have demonstrated a commitment to students, and not only students, but innovative teaching approaches, as well as passion for their content areas. Will Dr. Shel Busey and Professor McDormand please join me at the lectern? As I present our award winners with their plaques of recognition, please join me in congratulating them as the recipients of the 2019 Chess Excellence in Teaching Awards. And last but not least, I'd like to close this portion of the ceremony before our stream ends with our student commencement speaker, Ms. Nidrima McDuffie. The College of Humanities and Social Sciences is excited to introduce Ms. Nidrima McDuffie. Nidrima is graduating with a double major in Africana Studies and International Studies, and her journey to this stage has not been easy. Here to share a message of perseverance and inspiration, please join me in welcoming Ms. Nidrima Duffy.
Good afternoon. I want to start by thanking everyone, family, friends, faculty members, administrators, for joining us to celebrate this marvelous day in our lives. I want to especially thank the College of Humanities and Social Sciences for giving me the opportunity to speak to you all today. Let's give a loud cheer for the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, class of 2019. I know it's pretty gloomy out, but we're going to enjoy this day. I once read a quotation by Kyle Chandler that resonates with me, and I hope it will resonate with you guys. The quote reads as this: "Opportunity does not knock, it presents itself when you beat down the door." As I stand here before you today as a proud member of the Rowan University class of 2019, I can't help but think of those words, because there once was a time, not long ago, that I cannot see myself knocking down that door. But through my perseverance and because of my great support system and hard work I received in my 4 years of attending Rowan, here I am at the door of opportunity, knocking on its front side. Here we all are, ready to leave Rowan and seize new opportunities. In many ways, you can say my upbringing was typical for a kid growing up in the inner city community of Jersey City. My mom bore me at the age of 16, and my dad, he wasn't around. As a result, I felt the odds were stacked up against me, odds in which many ways impeded my pathway to the door of opportunity. By the time I entered high school, I was hurt, I was disappointed, and I was in desperate need of love and mentorship. That quickly changed when in 2015, I was accepted to Rowan University as a first-generation college student. Like many of you, I entered through the Pre-College Institute, also known as PCI. Even though we virtually had to survive without our cell phones for the entire summer, the program assisted us in helping with the transition to campus life, socialization, and structured courses. That same summer, I was introduced to the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. Through a seminar on Africana Studies, I knew I would collaborate my major with International Studies. My experiences in the program gave me a sense of focus and purpose. I was surrounded by amazing faculty, professors like Dr. Chanel Rose in African Studies, and Dr. Joy in Sociology, who went beyond their roles as teachers to become my mentors and role models. They not only taught me new things about the world, but they also challenged me to see myself in a different way. They told me repeatedly that I'm a leader, that I'm a good student, and that I have great potential. 4 years ago, I would have never imagined standing here before you all today as a college graduate and as a leader. But I've had a multitude of opportunities to feel support, to feel love, and to realize that I am a leader and that I am a scholar. In so many ways, faculty members, family members, and friends, you have all played a part in helping me break down that door of opportunity. Your support, your love, your intellectualism opened up a new world of possibilities for me. I found self-confidence here at Rowan. I learned I can break cycles. I found that there are good people in this world if you look for them, and I learned that hard work really does pay off. I couldn't be more honored to be graduating with degrees in Africana Studies, International Studies, and Spanish. Classmates in the class of 2019, as you graduate today, I implore you to break down those doors, put yourself out there in your chosen profession, in your relationships, and in your passions. All of our stories are unique, but what binds us together is our ability to make most out of every opportunity and to be resilient when new challenges come our way. If you accept and learn from your challenges, you'll be a better leader for tomorrow. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, words that still resonate more than 50 years after his passing, we are now faced with the fact, my friends, that tomorrow is today. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now. In this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is a such thing as being too late. Procrastination is still the thief of time. Life often leaves us standing bare, naked, dejected, with a lost opportunity. Over the bleached bones and jumbled residues of numerous civilizations are written the pathetic words, too late. Now let us begin. Now let us rededicate ourselves to the long and bitter but beautiful struggle for our new world. Class of 2019, one leg of our journey, earning our college degrees, is now complete, but our opportunities and our challenges begin a new day. So let's begin, shall we? Congratulations, classmates. I wish you great success.
Before we get to the reading of the names, I ask all of our chess master's and bachelor students to please stand up, both here and at the rec center. As you know, this past weekend, we held our campus-wide commencement event here on the main campus to celebrate Rowan's bachelor's and master's degree candidates. It was a beautiful ceremony, and it was during this event that President Hushman, Provost Newell, and Mr. Chad Brunner, Chair of the Rowan University Board of Trustees, officially certified our master's and bachelor's degree candidates as having completed all the requirements for graduation. With that, our College of Humanities and Social Sciences graduates were conferred the Masters of Art, Bachelor of Arts, and Bachelor of General Studies degrees, with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and obligations of those degrees. Congratulations to each one of you. You may be seated now. It's now time to proceed to the presentation of graduates. For those of you in the Student Recreation Center, the video stream is going to end, and Associate Dean Dr. Corey Blake will preside over the presentation of our Criminal Justice, Law and Justice Studies, and Liberal Studies graduates. Thank you.
We will now present our graduates. Each of our graduates will be called individually by program, beginning with students earning master's degrees and then proceeding with students earning their bachelor's degrees. Before we begin, and I know it's really hard, but I'd like to ask all family members to remain in their seats so that you don't obstruct the view of others or get in the way of our students, as we have more than 300 graduates. A professional photographer will take 3 photographs of each student, one before they go on stage, another as they receive their diploma cover, and a third at the bottom of the stage. The students have been given contact information to have their proofs mailed home. Also, you're welcome to take photos in front of the stage at the end of the ceremony. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the reading of the names.
First, our master's students, the Masters of Criminal Justice students led by Dr. Christine Saul. Alexa Adler. Alexis Matos, Angela Haw, Robert Regler, Brian Wallace. And now our Bachelor's of Science or Bachelor's of Arts students, led by Dr. Michael Weiss, the Law and Justice Studies students. Ojinga Stott. Courtney Derby. Catherine Rockhill. J.C. Torres. Hannah Houston. Hyder Johnny. Michael Hauger. Ariel Zelaya. Connor Burrows. James Geis. Henry Ensley. Felix Garcioni. So fast. John Spear. Dean Sabo. Gavin Pullen. Ezekiel Lopez Bravo. Zachary Mader. Nicholas Anthony Morales. Dan Campbell. Nicholas Schneider. Joseph Pizzagani. Jessica Rodez. Colleen Ann Welderman. Ayana Carr. Nicholas Itzy. Justin Smith. Nicholas Ruspazzardi. Justin Carrillo. Mark Padovano. Caitlin Hernandez. Brandon Atkinson. Tiffany Rivera. John DeSteno. Amada Zatati. Christian Grund. Nick Brago. Jeffrey Sabusinski. Nicholas Aponte. Janine Russell. Robert Edmonds. Allison Nemeth. Roberto Zapata, Jr. Kelly Jimenez. Brittany Hamlet. Daniel Thomas Grace. Alexander DiSciascio. Chris Varelli. Miranda Fenimore. Leslie Ann Kyle. Thomas Nealair. Joseph Ertzler. Amin Sabil Khan. Tyler Fazell. Kamar Sadler. Jiquiera Moreta Diaz. Timothy Hunt. Junior Elliscar. Melissa Ann Jimenez. Giovanna A. Jones. Shayla Milan Busby. Brandon Hartledge. Ryan Sarkos. Dan Bruno. Newalden Minaya. Jeremy Sullivan. Devin Barron. Dennis Garcia. Melissa Demona. Caitlin Bunting. Emily Valdez. Ariana Dickerson. Barbara Popek. Michael McDonald. Peyton Caldwell. Nicholas Spataro. Daniel Amiano. Anna Welker. Nicole Nemeth. George Maganero. Kendall Davis. Adriana Garia. Jeff Augustus. Jeremy Lamont Braun Jr. Jagger Soltrana. Alex Della Rosso. Shane Creva. Rayanne Etlinger. Jenna Hayek. Kevin Walsh. Kevin Jornick. Antiana John Baptiste. Zachary Brown. Tayron Mitchell. Frederick Ball Jr. Adam Wright. Anthony Gigi. Christopher Sullivan. Sonia Rollins. Sim Ersaz. Christian Westenberger. Justin Westenberger. Alyssa Cross. Yatandia Agi Boye. Synovia Scudder. Ivana Martinez. Hainea Marshall. Gabriella M. Smith. Matthew Gonzalez. Nicholas Fromhold. Kyle Pierce. Marcus Kennedy. Janessa Alla. Dominique Wilson. Siani Copes. Matthew Galborn. Nicole Chirinos. Louis Ramondi. Brandon Yoon. Nicholas Rembish. Krista Scott. Rebecca Kaufman. Samantha Sheehan. Javon Hall. Justin Kolshar. Stone Allen. Matthew Lanza. Matthew McCann. Chase Farabella. Mario Bellavci Jr. Crystal De Jesus. Abina McCrae. Ashley Tolley. Joseph Del Rossi. Gianna Fidella. Frodella. Franchi Garaibe. And Antoinette Francis. Fayola Abdon. Kingina Peter Minatum Hatchel. Kajina Determination Hatchel. John Patrick Miles. Haley Faber. Courtney Weems. Kamira Murphy. Eduarda Moran. Joshua Mariro. Rod Mitten. John Van Etten. Brian Garrett. Brennan Julian. Joseph Petroszewski. Christian McNiss. Erica Denise Gonzalez. Morales Gomez. Brian McCarty. Justin Sims. Yeah. Dina Marie Greer. Christina Miller. Emily Schur. Wiley Mitchell. Michael Shin. Finn McConnell. Michael Beninos. Kimberly Manning. Justin Dempsey. Lisa Brown. Raymond Phillip Jr. Zachary Leach. Frank Rose. Mike Fici. Alyssa Biamonte. Beth Perlman. Madeline Icavino. Helen Carty. John McGinnis. Jacob Kawapalithes. Michael Giosa. Lindsay Miller. Tyler Cavaracci. Tammy Goldman. Christopher Alessandrini. Michelle MacArthur. Emma Cara. Callie Holroyd. Rebecca Fleming. Elizabeth Ann Daly. Shair Mumford. Preston Harrison. Tudor Panay. Michael John Hare II. Hart, I'm sorry. Joshua Heinzelman. Matthew Amodi. Daniel Kelly. And now the Liberal Studies graduates led by Professor Sharon McCann. Jonathan Galanti. Raymond Wright. Sarah Duffy. Susan Hu Wang. Nathan Evans, Jr. Nicole Kellum. Karishma Garia. Dejanice Mendez. Jonadi Mendez. Jake Mira. Jonathan Melly. Andrew Corso. Elizabeth Lee. Xing Ah Ting. Tyler Steinbus. Matthew Mosho. Nicholas LaBelle. Tiffany Nemick. Jacqueline Lombardi. Ashley Kaub. Michelle Amelia McCauley. Kalea Smith. Mackenzie Bacher. Mackenzie Bacher. Rachel Paul. Caitlin Hyatt. Denasia Thomas. Colin Reddington. Kathleen Baker. Justice Harris. Joseph Chimarco. Kendall Huggins. Annie Santiago. Santiago. Fayo Mame. Lori Rosen. Michael Negra. Alicia Jackson. Elisa Jackson. Yaritza Victor. Megan Murphy. Alexandra Millington. Christina Panagarkis. Dania Amico. Ashley Grzuski. Janelle Elizabeth Ashiavado Cornell. Kayla Cardis. Anthony Cebulski. Jalen Arnstead. Daniela Spiritoso. Colleen Mariani. Courtney Irene Connolly. Claudia Gonzalez. Gavin Campbell. Michael DiMeo III. Sierra Eason. Brielle Zangan. Jonathan Smith. Artisha Huggins. Ulia Paul. Sarah Hampton. Bridget Henderson. Christopher Overholt. Ivy Kratenstein. James Adamas. Danielle Townsend. Olivia Grace Delston. Erin Hobbs. Shannon Finnegan. Jennifer Tishka. Victoria Mendoza. Princetta Samuels. Malcolm Harris. Lauren Meredith Schmidt. Caitlin Burson. Danielle Kane. Destiny Schultz. Sierra Christina Serrano. Marilyn Owamba. Ramata Mesere. Hunter Capriati Mann. Rebecca Peterson. Matthew Rhodes. Jessica Sanamara. Rachel Pape. Dylan DeVita. Emily Marrow. Haley Soybian. Gabriela Hernandez. Sarah Hubert. Kaija McDonald. Danielle Wilson. Maya Daniels. Sergio J. Perez. Darius Anderson. Shannon Renee Goodman. Stephen Delvecchio. Carrie Ann Boothie. Acheza Diaby. Aishatu Diaby. Ayana Lamore. Justin Fife. Nicole Kotelnicki. Devin Rosner. Jada Frazier. Caitlin Heilman. Kyla Fuller.
Thank you for attending today's ceremony and congratulations to all the graduates. Woo! The students and the audience are requested to remain seated while the platform party recesses, which shouldn't take long because there's 3 of us. Shuttles to the parking lot are available for those who need them outside the Student Recreational Center. So will everyone please rise for the recessional?